The smell of her perfume was still on my shirt. That's the first thing I remember. I'd hugged her goodbye that morning before work, kissed her cheek like I always did, told her I'd grab dinner on my way home. She smiled, tucked a strand of hair behind her ear and said, "Don't be late, okay? I want to spend time with you tonight." By 8 p.m. I knew she had lied. The discovery. It started with a nagging feeling. For weeks, Emily had been different. Her phone was always flipped face down. Her laughter came from another room, and our once easy conversations had turned into short nods and distracted hums. I told myself she was stressed, maybe overworked, maybe just tired of the routine. But that night, when she didn't answer my calls, when my texts went unread for hours, the uneasy knot in my stomach became unbearable. I wasn't looking for proof. God knows I didn't want it. But sometimes proof comes crashing into your lap, whether you want it or not. I was scrolling through Facebook when a picture caught my eye, posted by a mutual friend who had no idea what they'd just done. A photo of a fancy restaurant, candles glowing, wine glasses clinking. And in the background, clear as day, was Emily, my wife, leaning forward with a smile I hadn't seen directed at me in months. Her hand was resting on the table, almost touching the hand of the man across from her. Not just any man. Coworker. I recognized him instantly. His name was Eric. He'd been to our house once for a company barbecue. My chest tightened. The room spun. For a moment I couldn't breathe. Plan. I could have confronted her right then, called her, demanded answers. But some part of me, the part that was shattered beyond repair, decided to wait. To let her betrayal unfold fully in front of me. I called my lawyer instead. We'd spoken once before when my parents passed away, so his number was still saved in my phone. My voice shook as I explained everything, but he was calm, collected, already thinking 2 steps ahead. "Do you want to try counseling?" he asked. "No," I said, surprising myself with how steady my voice sounded. "I want out. But I don't want a screaming match at home. I want her to see exactly what she threw away." By midnight the papers were ready. A date. The next evening I parked my car across the street from that same restaurant. My heart pounded so hard I thought my ribs might crack. I sat there for nearly 20 minutes, staring through the windshield, gripping the envelope in my hand like it was a weapon. Finally I saw them. Emily and Eric, walking toward the entrance. She looked radiant. Hair curled, red dress flowing, that perfume I still carried on my shirt no doubt trailing behind her. She looked like the woman I fell in love with, except tonight she belonged to someone else. Followed them in. My legs felt like they weren't mine. The hostess barely glanced at me when I asked where the couple in red and gray had been seated. She pointed to the corner. And there she was, laughing, smiling. Her hand resting on his arm now, like it belonged there. I stood at the edge of the table until she noticed me. Her laughter froze. The blood drained from her face. "David," she whispered, as if my name itself were an accusation. Eric shifted uncomfortably, looking between us. Do you guys know each other?" I set the envelope on the table. My voice was low, almost calm. "Yeah, that's my wife." The entire restaurant went silent. The confrontation. Emily's hand shot away from Eric's arm as if burned. She looked at me with wide, pleading eyes. "David, this isn't what it looks like." I laughed. It wasn't humor, just a hollow sound that echoed louder than I intended. "Really? Because it looks exactly like what I think it is." Eric cleared his throat, trying to stand. "Maybe I should." "Sit down," I snapped, my eyes still locked on Emily. He sank back into his chair. Her lips trembled. "David, please. Can we talk about this privately?" I pushed the envelope closer to her. "There's nothing left to talk about. Those are divorce papers. You can sign them whenever you're done with dinner." She flinched as though the envelope weighed 100 pounds. "Divorce? Just like that? After everything, after years together, you're just going to throw it away?" "No," I said quietly. "You threw it away. I'm just cleaning up the mess." The fallout. The whispers around the restaurant grew louder, people leaning in, watching the scene like a play. Emily's face burned crimson. David, please. I made a mistake. I didn't mean for this to happen. Her voice cracked. I love you. I wanted to believe her. God, a part of me still did. But love doesn't sneak around in red dresses and candlelit restaurants with another man. If you loved me, I said, my throat tight, you wouldn't be here. Tears welled in her eyes. She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. Eric finally found his voice. Look, man, I didn't know. I turned on him so fast he shut up instantly. Don't you dare lie to me. You knew she was married. You came into my house. You ate my food. You shook my hand. And then you sat here with her like none of it mattered. He sank lower in his chair, face pale. I looked back at Emily. Enjoy your date. I'll send someone to collect the rest of my things. And with that I walked out. The aftermath. That night was the loneliest of my life. I checked into a cheap hotel, sat on the edge of the bed, and stared at the divorce papers like they were both my salvation and my death sentence. Sleep didn't come. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her laughing at that table, her hand brushing against his. The image carved itself into me like a scar I'd never erase. Over the next few days, Emily called. He texted. She even showed up at the hotel once, pounding on the door, begging me to let her explain. I didn't open it. Her messages swung wildly. Apologies, please, promises, then anger, insults, accusations. It was like watching her unravel thread by thread. But nothing she said could change what I saw with my own eyes. The reflection. You spend years building a life with someone. You share secrets, fears, dreams. You believe you know them. Then, in a single moment, you realize they're capable of betraying you in ways you never imagined. The hardest part wasn't losing Emily. It was losing the version of myself that trusted her completely. I thought about the man I'd been, the one who hugged her in the mornings, who believed her excuses, who trusted that smile. That man was gone. In his place stood someone harder, colder, but maybe stronger. The final meeting. Weeks later, we met in our lawyer's office to finalize the paperwork. She looked tired, worn, like the weight of her choices had finally caught up with her. She tried again one last time. David, please. I know I messed up, but can't we try again? I'll do anything. Therapy, counseling, whatever you want. I don't want to lose you. I studied her face, the face I once thought I'd grow old with. I wanted to find the woman I married in her eyes. But all I saw was someone I no longer recognized. You lost me the moment you chose him, I said softly. Her tears fell, but I didn't reach to wipe them away. I signed the papers. The day the divorce was finalized, I went back to that restaurant. Not inside, just parked across the street, staring at the glowing windows. I thought about that night, about the silence that fell when I laid those papers down, about the way her eyes widened with shock and fear. And for the first time in weeks, I felt something close to peace. Betrayal had burned me to ashes, but maybe, just maybe, I could rise from them. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do isn't scream or fight or beg. It's walking away.